Hello, welcome to Majestic School. Today we are going to talk about relative motion. What is relative motion? Relative motion is simply comparing the motion of two bodies. The motion could either be that the two bodies, body A and body B, could be that these two bodies, one is in motion already and the other is static, or both bodies are in motion. It will also be that B is in stationary position while A is already in motion. The motion could also be that both are in motion but they are in opposite direction. So a relative motion is simply comparing the motion of two bodies relative to each other or relative to another body. Let's take, for instance, we have uh, a bus moving, a bus is traveling, and let's assume that this is the bus, and somebody is here sitting in the bus at the back, and at the back he moves. The bus, let's assume that the bus is traveling this way towards point C. The bus is traveling towards point C at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour. The bus is traveling towards town C or city C at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour. So we will say that the speed of the bus relative to the earth, that is the road that is traveling on, relative to the earth, relative to the ground, is 100 kilometers per hour. That is the speed of the bus. But this guy is sitting in the bus. So his own speed is the same relative to the earth. Speed is the same relative to the earth. He's not moving. This guy is not really moving. It's not in motion yet. If this guy decided that, okay, I'm going to walk down to the driver to meet with the driver who is in the front, both of them will be traveling towards the same direction. Is this guy here? Let's call this guy Mike. M. M is traveling to meet with the driver, and the bus is traveling to town C. Both of them, all of them are moving at the same speed of 100 kilometers per hour. So if this guy stands up and decides to move, remember the bus is already moving, so his own movement is now another movement, another motion. So his own movement, let's assume his movement is 5 kilometers per hour. So if his own motion is 5 kilometers per hour towards the same direction, it's moving this way, the bus is also moving this way. So we say both of them are moving towards the same direction relative to the earth or relative to the ground. So we'll say both of them are moving at 100 plus 5, which is 105 kilometers per hour. So this is now their speed relative to the ground, relative to the earth. So the both of them are now moving at 5. The young man is now moving at 105 kilometers per hour. This young man, Mike, the bus was moving at 100 kilometers per hour. The bus was moving at 100 kilometers per hour. Mike is now moving at 5 kilometers per hour. Both of them, that is Mike now, the total uh, speed of Mike, the one he acquired from the bus, plus his own that he added, now makes up 105 kilometers per hour. So the young man's speed relative to the earth is now 105 kilometers per hour. The bus speed relative to the earth is 100 kilometers per hour, while the young man's speed relative to the earth is 105 kilometers per hour towards the driver. So if the young man decides to move backwards from the driver at the same speed, so you realize that he's now moving opposite the total direction of, 100 kilometers per hour, which the bus was traveling at. So we say that he is now moving opposite, which is 100 minus 5. He's now traveling. The young man, Mike M, is now traveling at 95 kilometers per hour. So you realize that he's now going at the opposite direction. Since he's now traveling at the opposite direction, the speed, the relative speed to the earth will now reduce because the bus is still traveling towards town C. He has not stopped traveling. The young man only walked towards the driver, who is at the front, and he walks toward the driver, who is at the front, and walked backwards. He walked towards the driver 5 kilometers per hour, adding to his own relative motion to the earth. So now that he's going backwards, he's taking away from the general relative, he's reducing the general relative motion which he had created earlier on. So it's now 95 kilometers per hour. This same relative motion is what occurs if you look, it creates an illusion. If you look, or somebody is traveling in a bus, look outside the bus, you see the trees, because the trees are usually static. Trees are usually static, and the bus is traveling. So if the bus is traveling this way and it passes those static trees that are stationary, it looks like the trees are now going backwards. It's like the trees are moving backwards. Actually, the trees are not moving backwards. It's an illusion that is created due to the fact that there's relative motion effect. Usually, we see natural things like the moon, the sun, as if they are moving towards particular direction, especially the sun. The sun, assumably, is not really moving. It's the earth that is moving. We are the one moving. We are the one traveling at an outstanding speed, at a wonderful speed. So, since the earth is moving, we tend to look at the sun as if the sun is moving. It's the earth that is actually traveling. It's an illusion due to the created by relative motion effect. So that is what we can say for today in relation to relative motion. In some other class, we talk about velocity, acceleration, distances, and I want you to subscribe to our channel, share this channel, and we do much more. Thank you very much, and God bless.